I'm Rancherette.
My name's Muhammad Ali. Baez. I'm Paradise.
This is Jack Black.
We're the OVW Tag Team Champions.
This is Ohio Valley Wrestling referee Chris Sharp.
This is Sexy Sean Casey.
My name is Rudy Switchblade, and I am your OVW Heavyweight Champion.
I'm Chris Silvio. This is Michael Hayes.
This is Jason.
When you're watching Triple Threat Talk.
And welcome everyone to episode 36 of Triple Threat Talk. And as you can see, we've effectively miniaturized Eli Manning and put him in front of the post.
Hi Eli, how you doing?
MVP on
Pretty good.
Wow, less than a minute in, you're already going loopy.
Hey, on Loop. Oh wait, that's Sloopy.
Sloopy, not Snoopy.
Really? Less than 1 minute in, and we're already in the mode of tomfoolery.
And you're asking, what is Sloopy? Well, a Sloopy is a type of a sailboat.
Hang on, Sloopy.
So,
hang on.
really, it's about a drunk guy wanting to not let go of a sailboat.
I am so sorry.
What are you sorry
What?
for?
This is
These
an epic
two
conversation.
Nothing
You
epic
just
about
learned
it.
something.
Nothing epic about
Hey,
it.
I'm going to Disney World.
Well, before we get off another tangent, I'll do this real quick. Something you'd be interested in. Actually, no, I'll save it for the wild card.
What? You can't tease
I'll
me
save
like
I'll save it for
that.
the wild card.
You're not allowed to tease like that.
Oh, you wait for the wild card.
Oh,
Anyway.
Such a dirty tease.
Dirty deeds.
No, not dirty D.
Oh.
Dirty tease.
Oh, okay.
Let's start it off. Watch your language. This is a family show.
This is dirty deeds.
Dirty Mr. Deed said no. We're not talking about failure of Adam Sandler movies. We're talking about
Jack and Jill?
What?
Never mind.
No.
Let's start off with
Let's
some
take an 8 Crazy
questions.
Nights.
I like that movie. Anyway.
Punch Drunk Love.
Anyway.
Anyway, what?
Let's start with viewer questions.
Oh, yeah.
And the first question is very epic and near and dear to us.
From the Tyron1232.
1, 2, 3, 2.
New viewer. Or maybe
You know,
not a
I'm
new
standing
viewer.
up.
Not a new viewer.
I am
new question
I'm
asker.
standing up and applauding for this question. Go ahead.
Okay. Your dream of WWE signing an OVW... Could you let me read the question, please? Zip it.
Go ahead.
Your dream of WWE signing an OVW talent has come true. How do you guys feel about them signing Marcus Anthony?
Fantastic.
I thought you put feelers out to get a new producer.
I did, but it just didn't quite work out. I mean, we tried everything. I mean, we've even paid people to try to come on the show, and they still don't
They
want
still don't want to.
I don't know.
How about you do your job
We're
and
triple
answer the
threat.
question?
We are doing our job.
Well,
Really?
First off,
We're
the
not
time-
standing up going, woo!
Actually, that's great.
You look like a flopping seal waiting for a fish.
Touche. And you ruined the doctor.
Congratulations, you broke the doctor. Tyron, first off, I gotta say, it's not the first time OVW's had Tyrant. Had
So
some.
what?
I'm talking within the question. It's not the first time OVW signed a WWE talent. I mean, Prototype, Leviathan, now John Cena,
Randy Orton.
Batista, Randy Orton's been
CM Punk,
John
CM
Morrison,
Punk,
Cody
Kurt Angle,
Rhodes,
Maurice.
John Morrison.
Evan Moore. I mean, who?
A
Anyway.
guy that never existed, but I love that they signed Marcus Anthony. I only pray to God that they use him right.
Well, for us, it's really cool to see because, you know, as this OVW thing has taken, you know, a great big turn for us for the show, it's awesome to see him because we've seen him week in and week out.
He's still in
As a
stitches
doctor,
over
stitches
there.
over there. He needs to be sewn up. But it's awesome for us because I said to them before when I first saw Marcus Anthony, what he can do in the ring, how talented he was. I didn't want to see him in OVW for much longer.
Yeah,
And
we both said
my wish
that.
came true because W picked him up. I bet TNA's not too happy about that one just because they have the developmental deal with OVW. So the fact that they lost him out to their, you know, quote-unquote competition, they probably not happy about it.
You got to also say, if you're TNA and you're sitting on this guy, he is good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just his size. He actually has in-ring skill.
Yeah, I think
the way he sells his character.
I don't remember if it was a Saturday Night Special or just a TV taping. He pulled out a 450 splash. Yeah. A guy his size 450.
I mean, TNA is crazy for even letting him stay longer in OVW than a week.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy should have been signed months ago.
But the fact that he's in WWE now is really cool because if you don't, I know people probably don't watch Superstars on the internet, and I don't blame you because it's mediocre at best. But usually with Superstars, they pull people from FCW where Marcus Anthony is going. So I'll definitely be tuning to Superstars, not now, but in the next couple months to see if he appears in there because that'd be really cool. So.
Right, absolutely, it's a great thing for Marcus Anthony. Like you said, we love seeing it just because of our relationship with OVW.
I want to see more people too.
And he was one of the ones we said ship him out quickly as soon as possible. And who knows, maybe he'll take on Big B's nickname of the one-man wrecking.
The one-man army.
Yeah, the one.
He was the real deal in OVW, so we'll see.
So, all right, from the DJ Becca show.
DJ Becca.
What's up, fella? How you doing?
Yeah, messaging us, all right?
Does AJ Allmendinger... Oh, a NASCAR question.
This is all you.
I love how you just defer to me. You know?
It is all you.
It is all me.
I don't know who that is.
Maybe he knows. You forget. He's been studying. He is the doctor. He's been studying.
I've been
He's
studying
chiming
on
in.
NASCAR.
Unlike you, we actually study for sports we really don't care about,
like tennis.
Yeah.
I would say NASCAR if I knew it was on.
Well, it's called look it up on the internet.
I don't have time to do that.
You have plenty of time. No. He has a date with Rosie Palmer, 5 sisters. But anyway.
Did we just say it was a family show like about 5 minutes ago?
This is going downhill. Have a good shot at winning weekly now that he is driving for Penske Racing.
Penske.
The answer is yes, he does.
Penske.
Penske is a well-known NASCAR owner. He's been very successful, mostly in open wheel, but he has had some success in NASCAR, mostly with Rusty Wallace for years upon years. With the release of Kurt Busch and now the signing of AJ Allmendinger. Look, it's a good hire for Penske, I guess. I didn't really agree with it at the time. I thought a better hire for Penske would have been David Reagan or Brian Vickers or maybe like an Elliott Sadler or somebody like that. But to answer your question, yes, absolutely. I totally agree with that.
I think it was a good move, too. I mean, AJ Allmendinger, he's up and coming like a little bit. He's had a couple good seasons in the past driving for
Richard Petty Motorsports.
Thank you, Richard Petty. And it's one of those things that when you see somebody coming up and coming like we just addressed in the last question, with like say with Marcus Anthony, you want to try to sign the next big thing before it gets away from you. He didn't want to. I definitely agree. Penske did not want to pass up on AJ Allmendinger and have that opportunity to come back and bite him in the rear end.
Any input, sir?
I got nothing.
You got nothing. I'm not surprised. And he calls himself a professional. How dare him?
They have different people for different things. You don't see Stuart Scott on NASCAR Now or whatever.
Well, there's a reason for that. No one wants to look at Stuart Scott.
Whoa! Wow! Okay, what about like other people on sports channel? They don't just go on NASCAR. That's not their
they do.
forte.
They do.
Not a lot. You don't see like
Mike and Mike cover everything.
You don't see John
Colin
Anderson.
Cowherd.
Actually, I wish Mike and Mike would cover more college sports. They really don't cover enough.
See, they don't cover everything.
They do cover it.
They do cover it, just not enough.
Yeah, so don't go see.
Here's the next question.
I will.
Fail.
For the Prototype 400, have you read any good novels?
Why, yes, we have. I read it all the time. I'm a freaking doctor, for God's sakes. One of the best books I ever read was a personal account of the Holocaust by Elie Wiesel called Night. It's 95 pages. It's very...
Read that in a day.
It's very, very good book.
You say 95 pages?
95 pages. 95 pages.
It's a short book.
It's a short book, but it gets straight... It's not bullcrap, you know? Like, it was a true account of the life of Elie Wiesel, who was a Jew in Auschwitz at the time of the occupation. It's a very touching story. And also, of course, who doesn't like the Harry Potter books?
What a toy. Put him down.
Seriously. Yeah, we miniaturized him. He's a living...
It's an action figure.
But yeah, that series and that book are definitely worth the check out.
I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of reading as I used to. Most of the books
Another Child Left Behind.
I hate my life. Most of the reading I did was back in high school, whatever. So most of the books I read, actually, one book that comes to mind is I watched the movie, and then before that we read the book, was of Mice and Men, which I thought was a good book. And the movie was very good, too. I did read Harry Potter, as the doctor said. A lot of books I read recently. I've read a couple of wrestling books. I want to start Jericho's book soon. Andre Agassi's book I want to read. There's a James Blake book. A lot of sports books I read. In college, I read a lot of books like hands-on, like 3D design. So I read kind of like design books too. So
I read the DX autobiography. It's a really good novel too. If you're a wrestling fan, you like to read, that's one to pick up. As far as novels go, one of my favorite novels that I've read numerous of times, and I actually read it before the movie came out, was Seabiscuit.
yeah, I read that too.
That was a good novel to read. It went very in detail, into that, and so I had to say that as well. Also from the Prototype 400, I guess this question goes to you, as you would say. What would be the best option for a CAW? Riddler, Phantom of the Opera,
Phantom,
or the Lone Failure?
Lone Ranger. Now don't get it twisted, okay? The Riddler's been done before. The Riddler, I believe, was in SCAW, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was in Scott.
I'm pretty sure he was in Scott one time or another, or if not, he was out there somewhere. The Lone Ranger, I don't think it's been done, but I'm sure it has. And Phantom of the Opera's probably been done before too. Let me tell you something right now. I don't know if he knows this or not. Let me tell you right now. If I could make, being serious, if I could make the Phantom of the Opera in one of the wrestling games because they don't have the right mask for him, he'd be already in DWA by now. Period. He would be in DWA. I love the movie. I love the story of the Phantom of the Opera. I'd put him in. But again, at the same time, it's not feasible just because that mask is not in the game. So, what would be the best option? I might go with the Lone Rangers because it's the most obscure that people don't pick. Riddler is part of Batman, DC. People pick that all the time. Phantom of the Opera, it has been done before. The Lone Ranger is an older type of character, kind of the cowboy type, so I think a lot of people will go towards that. So I'd probably say the Lone Ranger would probably be the best option.
I think that would be a good idea, especially for what we have planned with DWA coming up. Do you want to give them an update?
I'm still working on movesets as the time is. I'm trying to get all the movesets done. I will be posting a new, like I did a while back, DWA promo. I will be posting a new promo sometime soon. I'll keep you posted. But we're just working, trying to get everything set up for the return. So we'll keep you posted on that.
It is coming. We promise.
Yeah.
From Against All Odds 20.
Yeah.
If you guys were in charge of revamping the Divas in WWE,
Oh boy,
what would you do?
that'd be a task.
What
I think now that they're effectively out of the PG era for the most part, I think, and this is not to be perverted, sex equals ratings. I would bring back the ball and panties matches. I would bring those back. I would also stop the stigma that every single diva has to have the championship. I don't think it comes down to that. I think what they need to come down to is who would logically have this over the course of a period of time.
Right.
I think that's what they need to keep doing with the divas. Not keep doing. I think that's what they need to change.
Okay, I'm gonna go off here. Okay. First of all, stop with the farting, Natalia. It's stupid. Stop. Okay. Second of all, have legitimate storylines. You have divas in there that can actually wrestle. Eve knows jiu-jitsu, so she can go. Beth Phoenix is good. Natalia's good. Have her, again, stop her from farting. It's stupid. Awesome Kong Karma, she's good. Have her feud with somebody. Bella Twins, they're like sticks. They should be wrestling. They should be arm candy. Kelly's gotten better. Other than that, that's it. And Tamina too.
Karma.
I said Awesome Kong Karma.
Sorry.
So, you have to have legitimate feuds and storylines. Back when you had, like, Mickie James, Trish Stratus, Lita, Gail Kim, Tori Wilson. Well, Sonny wasn't really a wrestler.
No.
Sable.
I like Sonny.
You mean Rita Mero?
Tori. Well, no. Now she's with Brock
Lesnar. Rena Lesnar.
Yeah, Rena Lesnar. Tori Wilson, Stacey. You have
Keebler.
Yeah, Mrs. George Clooney.
Whoa.
Well, I'm jumping ahead. But anyway, you have to. This is what they need to do with the Divas division. Bottom line, they have to want to have one. Basically, all I see now, like, why do they even have a Divas title? First of all, I never see it defended. Every time there's a match with them, it's like a tag team match. At WrestleMania, shouldn't the title be defended?
It's because they want to showcase all the Divas.
Exactly.
That's what
but at the same time, the Divas title used to be a prestigious title. Then they got not the Divas. The women's title was a prestigious title. Then they had both the Divas and the women's, and then they got rid of the women's title. Now it's just the Divas title.
Maybe that's why.
I don't know if that's the case, But there are people in that
diva.
there are people in that women's division that can go. They need to let them go once in a while. So.
Yeah. From DJB Music 100.
Any thoughts on that one, Divas?
I gave my 2 inputs while you were talking.
Okay.
Jeez. He's awful grouchy this evening.
Yeah, what do you expect?
I know.
Oh my god.
Does Triple Threat Talk get its own YouTube channel soon? Or is Big BJ and
Big BNJ
be its permanent home?
I guess that's a question for me.
I would assume so. You are the producer.
Alright, here's what I want. Here's where I want to go. At first, I was going to say, yes, we should eventually do a channel where it's youtube.com/triplethreattalk. But! Peanut gallery over there.
What?
I heard. But anyway, but
Wait.
here's the big reason why it's not going to change. This YouTube channel, youtube.com/BigBNJ88, I've had since 2006. Now, if you're not familiar with how YouTube works, where you have an account for a certain amount of time, I've had this account since 2006, as I said, so it's about 5-6 years, depending on what month it was. At a certain point, you're able to upload, and Gary looks like either a robber or a homeless person, or both. No, you're not Ezio, you're not even close. With YouTube, you have to have an account a certain amount of time to upload a certain amount of minutes. So, for example, if we went to a new YouTube channel, say youtube.com/triplethreattalk, we could only upload about 15 minutes per video. Could you imagine this show, 15 minutes per part? That'd be like, what, 4 or 5 parts?
It's really the only quality programming you get out of the show anymore.
Actually, it would probably work, because for the 30 minutes of rambling he does for tennis, they could skip those 2 parts.
But bottom line, the reason...
keep the good part.
But bottom line, the reason we're probably going to stick with this channel for now, unless something changes, is because we don't want to be limited in how much time we are uploading something, especially with me when I'm editing. I don't really feel like cutting it up like that. It's much easier to put it out there for everyone that can watch it straightforward. So,
aren't we looking into trying to get podcasting?
We're looking into podcasts. We're looking to get it on ESPN Radio. We're looking to do other things with the show. We're just trying to make it bigger and better. But right now, this is the home of Triple Threat Talk at this point. So.
All right. So you can always check us out on Big BNJ88.
Very good. Pretty much the easiest way to find us, guys, is facebook.com/triplethreattalk. I tell it to everybody. So.
All right. So from JB11 2011, do you think Sheamus?
JBL.
Did he not just interrupt me?
You interrupted me. You didn't do my.
No, I didn't.
You don't do my shtick.
What? No, I no.
This is a family show.
Yeah. Again, family show.
I said my shtick.
Anyway, from JB11 2011,
thank you.
Do you think Sheamus will beat the curse of the Royal Rumble winners not winning a title at WrestleMania since 2007?
I don't think there's a curse at all. I mean, obviously they know what they're doing with planning these things ahead. I don't think Sheamus will win though.
2007, I believe Undertaker defeated Batista, if I'm not mistaken, in that WrestleMania match. I think Sheamus will win the world title at Royal Rumble. At WrestleMania. I just think he won the Rumble for a reason. I think they want to push him up to the top again, give him that world title. Daniel Bryan's going to lose it soon. I really don't see Daniel Bryan keeping it much longer than after WrestleMania, so it seems like a perfect time for Sheamus to grab the reins on SmackDown.
I totally disagree with your point.
What a shocker.
And totally agree with your point. Because... well, the reason why I say that is...
right?
Everybody knows Chris Jericho was supposed to win the Royal Rumble. And they changed it at the last minute because they didn't want it... Oh, it leaked out that Jericho was going to win, so let's change it. So basically, Sheamus won on a technicality.
Yeah.
So therefore, he will not be champion. He will not win at WrestleMania.
Your words after April, so...
Yeah, we'll see. From Khalil Rocks. What 3 NFL teams will have a bounce-back season come 2012?
I think you really need to pay close attention to the Dolphins this coming year. I think the Seahawks didn't really have a bad season, but I look for them to, with Marshawn Lynch getting off of his lazy horse the last 8 games of the year.
Whoa, you don't want to talk about that.
Hey, he's right. He didn't play beast mode until the last half of the season. He's completely right.
But I think the Seahawks will bounce back and play a full 16 games this year
So
instead
the
of
Dolphin
8.
Tails, the
Dolphins,
Sea Chickens,
the Seahawks, and if I had to throw a wild card in there, I'd say probably the Chargers. I don't see what they had happening again this year.
I don't know. They just seem like that team, though. I do agree with him. I do agree with Seattle. I do think if they get some key receivers, they can challenge the Niners for the division or possibly want to get a wild card. Because I think the Niners have every piece of the puzzle they need to get to the Super Bowl next year. Put Eli Manning down. I think, like I said, I think the Niners have every piece they need. I don't think they need a new quarterback. I think Alex has proved he is the guy for San Francisco. I think he proved that. Vernon Davis, Frank Gore, I think they got a great core of people there in San Francisco, especially the coach Jim Harbaugh. I think they'll be Super Bowl champions eventually sometime soon. Seattle, like I said. I think Cleveland possibly could go 8-8.
Cleveland?
I think they can go possibly 8-8 or a wild card. If they get Robert Griffin III, like I said, they think they're going to draft him and put all the pieces together. I think they can make a wild card. And another team I think is going to bounce back. I agree with him. I think the Dolphins. Somehow I think the Dolphins are going to... They played well like the last half of the season. And I think they're going to challenge the Patriots next year for in that division. I think the Jets might fall off next year. So I like the Dolphins as well.
I totally disagree with the Browns because they're not going to surpass the Ravens and the Steelers.
I didn't say that. I said they would come a wild card.
They're not going to be a wild card. You're not going to have 2 wild cards out of the same division.
You did last year.
No, we did last year.
I know.
Chicago and...
You're not going to have the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns all in the playoffs. I don't see it happening. Because the Browns will probably lose both games to the Ravens and the Steelers.
We'll see.
But as far as bounce-back seasons, I think the Steelers will have a bounce-back season.
I don't think they had a bad season.
Yeah.
They made the playoffs.
Well, he said the 49ers. So
No, he didn't say the 49ers. He said he thinks that they're going to
I know they made the playoffs, but they got ousted in the first round.
They got T-boned.
By Denver.
They got T-boned.
So they could technically still have a bounce-back season.
I don't know. I think a bounce-back
I think when they meant bounce back, I think they meant a team that didn't make the playoffs at all.
But I also think another team that you can throw in there is the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
I think they're obviously going to improve.
Well, they're definitely a work in progress.
A doldrum of a record. I think
they'll definitely improve on that one.
And the Seattle Sea Fails would be another.
Wow, we're on agreement with the Sea Chickens.
Selection, definitely. I think that the Sea Chickens could very well challenge the San Francisco 49ers for the division title next season.
The Sanford Fumbles.
Yeah.
Whoa!
No, that would be Kyle Will Fumbles.
Oh, okay. From Blue Knight 851. Blue. What do you think WWE should do with Drew?
Give him a freaking title, man.
Put him on Raw.
Put him on
Raw.
Do something creative with him. He's got a lot of talent.
They're doing the same thing they did with John Morrison. They're just... I don't know why they're not letting him do what he's capable of. Case in point, John Morrison is by far the most athletic person I've ever seen in the ring since Shawn Michaels in the 90s, period. And I don't know why they don't let John Morrison do more things because he deserves it, especially with Drew McIntyre. He came in, won the Intercontinental title in the first 6 months, and he's done nothing since. So I think he needs a change of pace. Put him on Raw, have him feud with new people, show the world what Drew McIntyre is capable of, because I know WWE knows he's capable of a lot more than they're showing. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, he's supposedly the chosen one. But they're definitely not making him look like the chosen one. They're making him look like a jobber.
Give me another chance, Teddy.
For Pete's sake, he's losing to Santino Marella. I mean, that's a fail right there.
Hey, I am not a fail.
He's okay, Mario over there.
Yeah, I know. He's like Mario.
They're both Italian.
Go save the princess. She's in another castle.
But even though, with that being said, yeah, he should be moved to Raw. Mm-hmm. Or either that or get a better push on SmackDown. Something.
He needs something.
Either that or just cut your losses and let him go. Let him go somewhere like TNA or
OVW.
Where he can
come to OVW.
Show himself.
Come to OVW.
Well, yeah, we'll gladly take him.
So that wraps up viewer questions this week. We appreciate all the comments, criticisms, and
questions
and
quandaries.
And quandaries, yes. So with that, we turn it over to the doctor, who will anoint this week's viewer of the week. Doctor, anoint away, please, sir.
Who's that one dude?
Tyron 1232.
Tyron 1232. You should post more often. You had a good question. We liked it. I thus anoint the Triple Threat Talks
Viewer of the Week.
Okay, we're in the all medieval times now.
We are now in the
Shut
medieval
the old
times.
pie hole.
Where's my my mutton?
Your what?
My mutton.
You're sitting on it.
So with that being said, guess what? You know what it's now time for?
Headlines.
Doctor, give me the news. I got the bad case of the headline blues.
You need to come up with another part of that.
No, like I tell, it's no mistake that I usually half hour to an hour a day for the show. Since the last show, the only piece of headlines that I have also will cover our NFL topic. Your Giants, New York Giants, are the Super Bowl champions, even though the odds makers in Las Vegas thought New England would be a 3-point favorite, and isn't that just a little sad? Giants win 21-17.
And once again, I am wrong again. You're wrong again.
I mean, really, how can you not pick the Giants to win that game?
I mean, I was on it completely. It's other than that.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, like, I'll let you finish if you're finished with your statement.
No, go ahead.
Okay. The Giants didn't win this game. The Patriots lost this game by the play of Tom Brady. Okay, I'm not. No, I am giving the Giants all the credit in the world for winning this game. I'm giving them all the credit in the world. They played outstanding. They made more plays than New England did, but.
Okay,
look at
you're contradicting yourself.
Well, look at plays like...
Technically, they didn't. Tom Brady threw one more pass than Eli Manning did.
Well, look at this. All right.
He threw one more pick
First
than
of,
Eli Manning.
yeah, exactly. First of all, at the last drive...
He threw one more touchdown.
At the last drive of the game, when the Giants were up 21-17 with like 57 seconds left,
yes,
there were two passes that Tom Brady threw. Both the receivers dropped it. Nothing you did about that.
Wes Welker, you failed.
That was.
I'm going to defend that pass. That was not his fault.
Yes, it is. He catches that 100 times.
There's a debate with everybody. You are on one side, you're on the other. I'm in the middle. A, the pass was not perfect, but B, when he had possession of the ball, he had two hands around the ball. You gotta catch the ball. When I saw him catch the ball, it was.
I'll defend it in a second.
It was in his hands. I saw two hands around. He just slipped out of his hands.
Make your point.
That's my point. I'm saying if you have two hands around the football, you got to bring
Wes
it in.
Welker was running a seam route to the outside of the numbers, okay? So here's your numbers right here. Hold on. This was Wes Welker on the inside, okay?
Yeah, no one can see it.
No one can see that. Anyway, go ahead.
So Wes Welker was on the outside seam route. Phillips was covering to the left of the seam. He saw that Tom Brady was kind of looking to the end of the seam. So Phillips scooted over, which was actually a good move on his part. He made Tom Brady throw a little bit more to the outside of the seam. Now, anybody who knows anything about angles knows that you're either going to, and obviously it's 50-50, you're either going to pass, you're either going to catch that pass or you're not. And yeah, way to go, doctor. Anybody could deduce that. What I'm talking about is cleanly. Wes Welker, all he had to do was jump a little bit to the left, he would have caught that pass. Yeah. The other option was scooting over and catching the pass out of bounds because of the trajectory of the ball. I put that on the fault of Tom Brady because he did not make the adjustment when he saw Phillips scooting closer to the outside seam. Wes Welker is a wonderful receiver. He is going to catch that ball if that ball goes directly to him. Clearly, it did not go directly to him, not on the fault of Wes Welker, because of Phillips' dynamic play on the outside there. Right. That just is not Wes Welker's fault. I mean, it's one of those things that has divided, that's why I don't see why Postmaster raised his voice, because at 50-50, everybody's 50-50 on that.
Yeah.
On my view, as well as 50% of everybody else, is that is not Wes Welker's fault. And it's a matter of trajectory and angles. For me, when you break down that play and you run it angle by angle, spot by spot, it's one of those things that, to me, look more like Tom Brady's fault.
Well, Brady didn't play perfect that game, not even close.
Right.
Another thing about that game...
He was 27 for 41, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, and as Postmaster said, 1 interception.
It was totally Wes Welker's fault on that pass. I mean, it was perfectly analogy by Chris Collingsworth. During the game, he said, and I quote, he makes that catch 100 out of 100 times. He's absolutely right. There's no excuse there. He was wide open. He was wide open. He should have made the catch. Yeah, it's a little high, but you know what? These guys get paid millions of dollars to do what they do. Quit your whining. Quit making excuses. Catch the dang ball.
Absolutely right.
He's right there. He should have caught it. I hate it when it's a perfectly thrown... Not a perfectly thrown ball, but a perfectly catchable ball.
Yeah.
And He drops it.
Yeah, bottom line.
And then people want to make excuses.
Yeah, bottom line, if you have two hands around the ball, you got to catch it.
Yeah, you got to catch it. I'm sorry. That's a fail.
Another thing is Gronkowski, people question his health because of the high ankle sprain. Mm-hmm. And he did have one catch. He had a couple catches in the game.
He almost had the game winner.
Yeah, I think, this is what I think. I don't know if you are two in agreement about this, but I say, do you think if you had 100% Gronkowski, the Hail Mary in the end zone he catches, he makes it time catches it?
I think so. He was within 4 inches of catching that ball.
It's kind of tough.
He had his fingertips
I think
on the ball.
think if you have a healthy Gronkowski, he dives off that good ankle and catches the ball.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to deduce that just because of the angle. It was going to be it was a pure reaction play anyways.
Right.
I mean, to me, it was one of those things where it was reaction. His ankle, to me, really didn't seem to play in. It was reaction.
Right.
You know, when you have, and this is a loose analogy, but it is an analogy, when you have reports of mothers being filled with adrenaline when their kids get trapped in their cars, able to lift the bumper of a car. Doesn't matter what their physical shape is, they can lift that car off their kid in a pure rush of adrenaline. I think that you can apply the same thing here to Gronkowski. Good ankle or no, I think it was a reaction. But my God, what a story that would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about the catch. That would have
been the greatest ending of Super Bowl ever. Yeah,
I think, but here's the thing. I think if Rob Gronkowski was healthy, period, we'd be talking a totally different outcome.
I think if Gronkowski was healthy, I think the New England won by at least 2 touchdowns.
You can't, when you go by sports, you can't say if this,
right,
if that,
exactly.
Because then if you say if for one team, what do you take the but from the other team?
Right, exactly.
So on a lighter note of that, regarding the Super Bowl. What was your guys' favorite commercial?
I know one of yours was, because you picked it.
Yeah, and it won, and I was quite thrilled.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that one. They talking about the dog.
One? Oh, yeah, the dog. The cat, that was my favorite.
Doritos, the dog,
You didn't see nothing.
Yeah, you didn't see
nothing.
Matter of fact.
I think we should show it.
Well, wait. We'll show all of them that we like. We'll go over our favorite ones and we'll show each one. So, what was your favorite, number one?
I like the dog. Okay. I did.
Okay, was that your favorite?
That was my favorite, but since he stole that one, I'll use my second favorite.
I didn't steal it. I'm agreeing with you.
Well,
I'll give you the credit for it.
Well, another
so
one. Let me throw another one out there then. We're in total agreement on that one.
Right.
The M&M's commercial.
Okay.
That was hilarious.
M&M's commercial.
Oh my God! I laughed.
M&M's commercial, right? So
sexy. I didn't know it was that kind of party.
Again, that was my favorite. That was my favorite too. But my second favorite, a close favorite. I love the sketches with the dog, Mr. Quigley, and then Mark Cuban at the end. What do you mean you want a new contract? Yeah. So we're not going to show all 3 of them in a row because that'd be kind of silly to take a 3 commercial thing. But we'll show the Doritos one first, and then we'll come right back.
Honey, have you seen our cat?
Nope.
You didn't see nothing.
I didn't see anything. What are you talking about?
So we'll take.
Honey, have you saw our cat?
So after we talk about a little bit of the headlines, we'll show the M&M's commercial. Then after we talk about OVW, we'll take a quick one to show the Mr.
It's a little commercial break today.
Commercial break, right?
Some commercials on the show tonight. I like it.
So that pretty much wraps it up for. Oh, Eli Manning. Before we do, 30 for 40, 296 yards, 1 touchdown, and of course,
Super Bowl MVP. Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we move on from the Super Bowl, what are your feelings on the halftime show?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, gave it a good try.
You know what? This is my thoughts on it. I'm on the edge of snoring.
I think it's your halftime show next year. I think Gaga got.
I think if they were going to do Gaga, they would have done it already.
But here's the thing. You can't really knock it too much. They got her for free. So
here's the thing.
They didn't pay Madonna anything.
Personally, here's what I feel. I think the halftime show was entertaining, more entertaining than the last year was. The Black Eyed Peas, they're not good live. They're more of a band like recording. That's how the Black Eyed Peas are. The Who, I don't think the Who was that good because half of them were.
Are you kidding me?
Half of them were drunk. If you didn't know that already, they were drunk.
It's still the Who.
Another fail was Nicki Minaj flipping the camera.
No, you're thinking of MIA.
Yeah,
MIA
flipping the camera.
But personally, I think Madonna did a good job. I thought.
You know she's lip sync, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Well, that was blatantly.
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of
You
that.
couldn't figure that.
I'm aware of that. But I did like the floor design with the TVs. That was very interesting, very entertaining. I feel very bad for Madonna that because she put on a good show. Madonna knows how to entertain people. She's done it for a long time. But I feel bad that MIA, if you didn't see, she flipped the bird on TV during the halftime show, which is completely stupid. She might be Idiot of the Week. I don't know if you have any other candidates for this week, but she's definitely my Idiot of the Week. Completely, she had the stage. She had like millions and millions of people watching the Super Bowl. She knew what was going on, and she blatantly flips the bird on national television, which is completely stupid. What are you thinking at that point? I don't know. I have no idea. But I will say this: I was very, very pleased and proud of Kelly Clarkson for her rendition of the national anthem. She blew it out of the water.
She didn't screw it up.
She didn't screw up like Christina Aguilera did the previous year.
Like so many people did this year.
Yeah, it proves that American Idol picked the right person when they first started doing the show. Kelly Clarkson is one of the biggest singers in all of the world, and she's the proof why if you make an American Idol, you can go places.
I agree.
So Kelly Clarkson did a fantastic job.
I have somebody even better for Idiot of the Week.
Yeah.
Giselle Bundchen.
Okay, you have the show. I have MIA. We'll get into that later during Idiot of the Week. So.
Yeah.
I don't really have any idea.
Okay, whatever. Anyway,
nobody made me mad.
So good Super Bowl this year. Very entertaining. Definitely catch of the game was the catch by Mario Manningham on the sideline.
Absolutely.
So, like I said it on the Facebook page. Patriots and Patriots and Giants. It was a repeat of 42, and the Patriots lost again. What's he crying about now?
No more football.
Yeah, football like soccer.
We don't have football.
Soccer.
We have soccer.
Ole, ole, ole.
I like soccer. We might cover some soccer.
Ole.
He gets to cover tennis. I might get to cover soccer.
Ole.
I like soccer. It's fun times.
No more football.
Yeah, football. There's always horse
There's
racing.
also arena indoor. Oh yeah, we have the Derby coming up.
The Derby.
You want to talk about the Austin Wranglers when we get to arena football with Terrell Owens?
T.O.
I guarantee they'll show that on SportsCenter. They'll find something.
They probably will.
Yeah.
Moving on to a more recognizable sport.
What's not recognizable by the NFL?
Yeah, really.
Kidding.
I mean, really?
Retract that statement.
Really?
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 Gonna move on to some NCAA basketball.
Some upsets this week, I imagine.
Moving on.
So covering since Saturday, Notre Dame's been on a little bit of a hot streak here.
I know, right?
What?
I said, where did Louisville come from?
Yeah, no, we'll get to them in a minute. Notre Dame's been on a little bit of a hot streak. They won their last few games. More recently over number 18 Marquette, 75-59, and Virginia, 55-51. Marquette does turn around though and beat DePaul 89-76. UNLV gets beat.
Yeah, they got trounced.
No, they didn't really get trounced, but it was a rather shocking loss to Wyoming.
Yeah. So lose to Wyoming.
66.
Lose to Wyoming.
I
I consider that a trouncing because UNLV is a lot better than Wyoming.
UNLV does.
So we're going to move into Louisville here, and I've got a little bit of a discussion here. Louisville does beat Rutgers 78-66, and I've never seen UConn just lay down and quit like they did against Louisville. They flat out quit, 80-59.
You think it was the absence of?
It was the worst loss for regular season.
Wasn't Jim Calhoun not there?
Like 5 years.
Wasn't Jim Calhoun not there?
No, he wasn't there.
No, what happened was UConn just literally quit. It was a miscommunication on the team. Nobody started. The team started. You saw a fallout of a team on national television. I mean, I don't care if it's against U of L, if it was against U of L or not.
Right.
If this happens, we're talking about it. I don't care who they play. They could have played. They could have played East Nowhere State.
Could have played Kentucky School for the Blind.
Who breaks down? That's not even professional.
No.
There's no call for that. I mean, the
Wizards
story
could beat them
here
there.
isn't so much U of L winning by this many points. It's UConn breaking down. What happened?
Like I said, I think the absence of Jim Calhoun kind of hurts them.
Yeah, I mean they don't have no discipline going on right now. It's the, you know how it is when the head coach is gone. When, like they say, when the teacher's away, the
Kids will play.
Kids will not play.
Well,
They played.
They didn't show up at all. That was 5 in a row now for Louisville. 6 out of 7 puts them at 19-5. So A couple weeks ago, somebody by the name of Doctor said they were completely out of the tournament. No way in hell.
No.
Oh, yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did.
I did not say that.
You said they're NIT bound.
What I said was if they finish 8 and 10, go back and listen. What I said was, and the viewers will back me up, what I said was,
Didn't he say?
if they finish 8 and 10, they will not make the tournament. I said if they make 9 and 9, they're questionable, and if they finish over 9, they're in.
You said NIT bound.
No,
you
I
said
did
it.
not.
We said NIT
Check
bound.
the word.
We all said it, but you said it too. You started the argument.
I'll check the tapes.
Check the tapes.
Check
You're
the
going to
tape,
find
buddy.
out what I said. Because I know what I said.
And you said what you meant.
Missouri does beat Kansas 74-71. Kansas does turn it around to beat Baylor at home, and me and Postmaster talked about this earlier. Probably the biggest comeback of the week. 32-2 run to close it out against Baylor at home, 68-64. That rivals what Kentucky did to LSU in the 90s, coming back by 37 down. That's crazy. Here's a team that you all might recognize from a couple years ago. University of Northern Iowa.
Who?
Who'd they beat?
I don't know.
They beat Kansas in the first round, in the second round
Yeah.
of the
And
NCAA
Kansas was
tournament.
like epic.
And they pull off another great win against number 17 Creighton, 65-62. Creighton does not bounce back in the last week. They lose to Evansville. They lose to Evansville. 65-57.
That's a good one, right?
Upset of the week. Miami.
Creighton.
No Creighton.
No Creighton.
Miami beats Duke at Kansas.
What's up with that?
78-74.
But Duke bounces back.
In overtime.
Wait a minute, whoa,
Duke
whoa.
then goes to beat UNC at Chapel Hill.
Last point.
85-84.
Last-second
The last-second three-pointer by Austin Rivers.
Rivers. Oh.
At least one Rivers is performing this year.
Whoa! Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm surprised Miami beat Duke. And it's not just because it's Duke. And not just because they were at home. If you look at what happened with Miami, Miami had no sense of urgency. They had too much of a sense of urgency.
Urgent.
There were 7 at one point when there was like a minute left to go in the game. They were up by 1. Their point guard scrambles with 17 seconds left on the shot clock. Scrambles to try to lay the ball in. You're up by 1. Let them foul you or run the shot clock down. You don't take a shot with 17 seconds to go.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. There was absolutely no clock management on the part of Miami.
Zero.
And what's more amazing, too, moving on to the North Carolina game, what's more amazing there is, guess how many, he knows the answer. Take a shot. How many three-pointers did North Carolina shoot? Or make?
Shoot or make?
Make.
3.
2.
I was giving you the answer.
They made,
I'm finding love.
I'm not going to cheat. They made 2. And the score was still 85-84.
Duke made 14.
Duke made a lot.
Jeez. So if Duke wasn't hitting their threes, North Carolina would have blew them out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's obvious.
Boston College
Rivers.
with another big upset over Florida State, 64-70.
Florida State.
Or 64-60.
They were good at the
I'm
beginning of the
sorry.
year.
Syracuse beats Georgetown 64-61 in OT. I told him earlier I'm impressed by Syracuse's zone. They play a 2-3 zone that is unrivaled by other teams.
Yeah.
And I told him everybody knows Syracuse can play a good zone. What I told Postmaster earlier off the air was, it impresses you to see a team charging at them like Georgetown, a talented team like Georgetown, and they still get sure the game goes to overtime, but they get head off by the zone. I mean, it put an utter stop to a team that was charging them, and they were still able to pull it out. Kudos to Syracuse. That was a great display of defense.
I think other than obviously Kentucky's the best team in college basketball, but I think Syracuse is a close second, and they've played flawless. They've played what?
I'm shaking your head.
Why?
Because I'm not used to you saying that. Usually you cringe whenever you say that.
But Syracuse is close second all year. The only blip they had was that game against Notre Dame where they didn't look like the number 1 team. But Syracuse is the strongest team other than Kentucky in college basketball. They play tough. They play great basketball every single game. Except for that game against Notre Dame, they looked non-existent in that game. So.
And speaking of Kentucky, the cylinders are clicking on all 4 cylinders. Or I guess in basketball,
that was
all 5
horrible.
cylinders.
Oh, that was horrible.
What are you talking about? It's true. People say all 4 cylinders.
Yeah, but
it's
you
an
said cylinders.
expression
You said
of
cylinders
speech.
twice.
They beat South Carolina 86. They don't just beat South Carolina. They crushed South Carolina 86-52.
Wow.
And they creamed number 7 Florida 78-58.
South Carolina's more known for the football, but
Yeah, that's right. The
well,
old
Florida's a good
Bronco.
win. Florida's a good win.
But yeah, Florida's definitely a good win, especially a top 17.
Yeah, we're getting a little close here to March Madness.
Yeah, we are.
We're
It's
getting there.
inching closer.
We're getting very close, so...
I want to take a minute. We're going to start from here on out. We're going to take 2 teams, probably a week, and kind of go over them and do the local favorites. We're going to start out this week with U of L and then go to UK.
Okay.
All right, I want to break this down a little bit. U of L currently 19-5 on the year. They are 5th in the Big East in points scored, 71.6. That makes them 57th in D1, while they allow 61.8 per game, 61.8 points per game, which is 6th in the Big East and 39th in D1. They are led by points per game by Kyle Keurig, who's an amazing shooter at 13 points a game.
It's about all he does.
Yeah, right.
And Peyton Siva
Just saying.
leads the team with 5.7 assists per game. Discussion at this point in time, what seed? Because like I said, you guys will check the tapes, and you'll see next week what I said. I said if they're 8-10, only if they're 8-10, they don't make the tournament. 9-9, they're on the fence. Over 9, they're definitely in. Obviously, they're going to be over 9. And what seed do you see them getting?
Probably like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, I was gonna say a 7.
I'm going to say anywhere between a 6 to an 8, probably a 7. I think that that warrants them to play that in the tournament. I think that that's going to be one of the things to look forward to. They do have a couple things going. They're on a 5-game win streak.
Yep, they're on a 5-game win streak. They've won 6 out of 7. They have a pivotal schedule coming up. Saturday they go on the road to West by God, Virginia to take on the Mountaineers.
And I will be rooting for U of L.
They play noon Saturday, high noon.
In Morgantown.
Wah, wah, wah.
And for the second straight Monday, they are featured on Big Monday, but this is no ordinary Big Monday because it's their biggest test of the year outside of Kentucky. They play Syracuse, but they do get them at the chicken bucket. So
Chicken bucket.
that does help. They do have to go to Syracuse yet after this, but I think if Louisville can pull out at least one of these 2, that'll put them at 20-6 after these 2 games. I think that'll put them at like 8-4.
8-4 in the Big East.
In the Big East. That sets them up pretty, because there's a couple very easily winnable games, I think. In the
Seton
rest
Hall,
of
DePaul.
DePaul. I think they play South Florida,
Yeah,
maybe.
they play South Florida.
So they need to at least win 1 of 2. If they could steal them both, hey, that's even better. But they're really starting to look better as a team. Shane Bohannon is playing out of his mind. He doesn't look like a freshman at all. He looks very good. Gorgie Ding, he is just absolutely amazing. He's kind of picking up the leadership role of the team, it seems like, because, he basically told Coach Pitino, screw you, I'm playing Monday, and he played very good. So, I mean, I said I don't remember if I said on the show or we were just talking, there was like 11 games left, and I said Louisville would go 7-4 in the last 11 games. I think they're 2-0 right now when I made that prediction. So, I mean, as long as they, so if they win, 5 out of the last 9, great. But I think they got a potential to win more now. So we shall see.
Yeah, I think if the chemistry builds up between Shane Bohannon and Gorky Jang, I think you're definitely looking at a little bit better odds. Moving on, we're going to look at the juggernaut themselves, Kentucky.
I thought he was going to talk about the Miami Heat there for a second.
South Beach.
Yeah.
South Beach. I mean, what can you say?
There's nothing to say.
There's nothing to say other than
they're the best right now.
I will say this though, and somebody pointed out this to me yesterday, and they brought up a good point. And I'm not saying it to draw offense to Kentucky, but he brings a valid point. if John Calipari couldn't win a NCAA title with Javon Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, what makes you think he can win a title with these guys?
A lot of people say that this is his best team yet. And it's not just because John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins were such good offensive players. What that team lacked was defense. You're talking about a UK team that leads the NCAA in shots blocked with 9.2, most of that coming from Anthony Davis, who is going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he's a shoo-in. UK leads the NCAA in blocks, shattering the SEC freshman record set by Shaq. 115. Oh, he's now over 115.
Shaq.
UK leads the NCAA with
Look at the
9.2 blocks.
Yeah, right.
They currently sit at 24-1. They are second in the SEC with 78.2 points per game and 14th in D1, while first in the SEC holding opponents to 57.7 points per game and 9th in D1, led by Davis in blocks and points with 14 points and Teagues with assists. I heard it said a couple weeks ago that the only way you're going to beat Kentucky is if you get them in foul trouble and try to exploit their weakness at the charity stripe.
Or you hear a last-second three.
Or you hit a last-second three. And I think that that's probably going to be it. Your only real hope is to play the zone. I mean, if you beat that, you can't play this team man-to-man because Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Anthony Davis especially will eat up a man-to-man. I mean, that's just foolishness. You have to try to exploit, you have to try to make Miller, Welcher, and Deron Lamb earn it from outside on the three-point blocks, three-point shots. And teams just aren't figuring it out because the only team in the country that I can see up to this point that can play an effective zone is the aforementioned Syracuse.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I just don't see, I think the best chance that Kentucky has of losing a game is against Syracuse in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think Kentucky's biggest problem is they haven't been tested in so long. That's their biggest problem.
Florida is a good team. Florida is a very legitimate team.
Right, I realize that, but they didn't test them.
They didn't test them, but that's no. Maybe they did. We don't know. Maybe Kentucky completely shut down Florida.
Well, obviously the last test they had was against obviously Indiana.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
lost.
No, Alabama.
Well, yeah.
Alabama.
Alabama only lost like 6 or 8 at Rupp Arena.
Yeah.
So I mean that's been the last test, but that's the problem with Kentucky's conference schedule in the SEC. The SEC basketball is just not that good.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're sitting at a 3 RPI, which is pretty damn good.
But that's because of who they had to play in the preseason. I mean, they played Kansas, UConn, Indiana, Louisville. Seems like I'm leaving somebody else big out that they played. Maybe I'm not, but
they played an unranked team that was pretty good, just like College of Charleston. But I forgot who it was.
I mean, so I think what they may run into in the tournament, in the NCAA tournament, is the fact of not really being untested. They may get tested Saturday. They play Vanderbilt.
At Vandy.
So,
and anyone can tell you that arena sucks.
So they may get a test there.
I can see the test.
And they do got to play Mississippi State yet, which always seems to play them tough. Even when they're not that good, Mississippi State seems to play Kentucky very hard. But I think if they run into a Big East team, they're in trouble. Because apparently there's something about Kentucky and the NCAA tournament and Big East teams. I don't know what it is. But it's like their kryptonite to Superman, you know. Yeah. They see a Big East team and it's like, oh, God, you know. But I think, what are they like? 1 and like 5 in the last...
Oh, no, it's not that. It's like 1 and 2, 1 and 3.
No, it's pretty... I think they lost like 3 or 4 games.
They lost to
like
UConn.
Marquette. Twice, I think.
Twice Marquette.
Marquette twice, and I think that's pretty much
it.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. They're definitely the best team.
Yeah.
In college, it's just, can they close the deal?
It's going to get very interesting come March.
So. Next week we'll profile 2 more NCAA Division I teams. In the meantime, Big B, please.
Big B.
Second commercial.
Yeah.
M&M's.
Enjoy. M&M's. Yeah.
So then I said, Mr. Prime Minister, I'm flattered that you love chocolate, but I'm here strictly in a professional... What's wrong with him?
He thinks you're naked.
My shell is brown. It just looks like my milk chocolate is showing. Only a fool would think I'd actually show up naked.
So it's that kind of party. Hit it!
I'm sexy and I know it.
Aye.
Look at that body. Look at that body. Look at that body.
I work out. Wiggle, 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 yeah.
M&M's.
So that was hilarious.
Don't do that ever.
Sexy, and I know it.
Never do that again. Stop. Look at his face. Look at his face. It's like a 5-year-old on Christmas morning.
Shut your mouth. At least he didn't look like a clapping seal waiting for a fish. Oh, God.
And if you would again, please, Big B.
Big B, for our weekly interview.
Where are we going? You're going?
Live!
Alright, before that, I'm going live.
There we go.
Where are we going?
I'm thinking about NASCAR.
We're going to talk some NASCAR. It's exciting time around here. We are this will be part 1 of part 2.
Keep it short.
NASCAR 2012 season preview, as it would. This week we're going to profile some drivers and their new sponsors and new teams. Next week we'll take a look ahead who we think has the best chance to win the championship and a few other things. So kicking off the season preview, as it would, we'll just go over some new places and new faces and new places and new faces. Yeah.
Nicely.
Yes.
Times 2.
That was graceful.
Yeah, thank you. Casey Kane leaves Red Bull Racing. He was basically on loan for a year. To move over to Rick Hendrick Motorsports. To pilot
Hendrick Motorsports?
No, Rick Hendrick Motorsports. To pilot the number 5 Farmers Insurance Quaker State Chevrolet.
That's a mouthful.
You guys think Casey Kane will be successful in that venture?
I do.
He's a good driver.
I think he's always been a good driver.
Yeah.
I definitely think with the addition of a little bit more money from the team, I think he's got a bright.
Yeah, I think
bright
with it,
future.
I think him with the new team definitely helps him
about
out.
3 races this year, probably.
It's a bold statement.
In the number 10 GoDaddy.com Chevrolet.
Gee, I wonder who that is. That is
from Tommy Baldwin Racing, Stuart Haas Racing. Danica Patrick will pilot the machine for 10 races.
Before you go, what was up with that thing on the Super Bowl? First you had GoDaddy.co, then you had GoDaddy.com.
I'm not sure on that. I didn't get that, but
anyway.
So Danica will be piloting that car for 10 races. She is effectively locked into the Daytona 500. She'll be racing at Daytona. And sharing that ride with her.
She's sharing a ride with somebody?
She is sharing a ride, piloting the other... No, sorry.
I like that guy.
No, not you.
No, hitchhiking.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Sharing a ride.
So, doing the other 26 races will be David Rudeman. He is leaving Michael Waltrip Racing. He was let go at the end of last season, and he was picked up by Tommy Baldwin Racing to pilot the number 10 GoDaddy.com Chevrolet.
Chevy.
So in her first year of Sprint Cup, I know it's only a limited schedule, but what do you think? What do you expect out of Danica for those 10 races?
About that next week?
We are.
Oh, okay. I expect good things. I think.
Yeah.
I thought you were going over the new drive where they're at.
That's true.
Pay attention.
I think Danica will be all right. I don't see her quite winning the race. I see her finishing in the top 5 a couple times, but
I like to see her win a race just to prove that she belongs there.
Too.
I think people still don't think she belongs there.
She's not going to win a race. She may win a nationwide race. She's driving for Junior Motorsports.
I definitely think she's going to win a couple nationwide races.
But I don't foresee her winning.
Not this year.
Not this year, no. She needs to get more experience under her belt. Yeah. Switching over from Richard Childress Racing to Michael Waltrip Racing, Clint Boyer will pilot the number 15 5-hour Energy, which you do not need any of, sir. You're rambunctious enough. So,
giggity.
Giggity, giggity. So,
please help me.
So Clint Boyer's moving over to that. That is a great pickup for Michael Waltrip Racing. He can come right in, help Martin Truex Jr. out, help the other addition to Michael Waltrip Racing out, which we'll get to momentarily. So, good pickup by Michael Waltrip Racing. Great acquisition. And we touched on him a little bit earlier, but we'll kind of gloss over him for a second. AJ Allmendinger switching over to drive the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Dodge. I know. It's not often you say Dodge, because I think they're basically the only Dodge team left in NASCAR.
It's ironic when people get hit by Dodges.
That was a horrible joke.
That was terrible.
That's irony.
Give him, Yank, yours the
hook. Doctor touched on this earlier before the show. Robert Richardson Jr. will pilot the North Texas Pipe for Pro Motors, as it were.
Motors.
Looks like that might be a one-off deal for the Daytona 500, but he plans to run the entire 2012
We'll see.
season. We'll see. Kenny Schrader and Terry Labonte, a couple veterans, as it were, will be driving for Frankie Stoddard Motorsports in the number 32. David Reagan, who was let go at the end of the season, unfortunately, by Roush Fenway Racing, will be piloting the number 34 for Front Row Motorsports. So obviously he's kind of downgrading himself a little bit, but I'm glad to see he was able to pick up a ride. Dave Blaney, who, whether he wanted to or not, gave up his points to Danica Patrick. But he does keep his ride with Tommy Baldwin Racing. He'll pilot the number 36 Chevrolet, obviously.
Chevy.
David Gilliland keeps his ride with Front Row Motorsports. David Reagan moves to the 34. So that puts David Gilliland now driving the number 38 for Front Row Motorsports. The King, Richard Petty, acquired Eric Almirola, or as his nickname is known, the Cuban Missile Crisis. What kind of nickname is that? I don't know, but that is his nickname.
That's a cold nickname.
That is a very cold nickname.
Cold War.
Enough of these puns already. So,
why don't you go to the Comedy Caravan and try some of these? See how good you do.
So he will be piloting the famous 43 car for Richard Petty Motorsports. So a very good job for him to pick that ride up. That should be interesting to see how he performs there.
Absolutely.
JJ Yaley.
JJ
will be driving the number 49 American Israel car for Jay Robinson Racing, which that's quite interesting.
He's got another joke.
That's an oxymoron. That's not a joke. That's
I thought you were gonna have another joke. I thought you were gonna have a joke over there.
All right, and Kurt Busch, who was fired for his obscene and antics and bad behavior, was hired by James Finch and Phoenix Racing.
That's a risky pickup.
To drive the number 51, formerly driven.
Well, if he's a hothead, he's going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a risky.
Here.
I mean, he's a good racer. He is talented.
Right.
He made it to the postseason.
Well, he's your 2004 champion.
Well, yeah,
exactly. He's won the championship once.
Yeah,
I think
8 years
it's
ago.
a good pickup. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit, wet behind the ears, but that's going to go away, hopefully, over the course of time. When people grow older, they grow more mature. Right?
Sometimes.
For the most part, unless your name ends with Hilton or Kardashian, I mean, you're going to grow more mature.
Don't you dare diss Kim Kardashian. Here at Hilton, I have no problem.
I definitely think that it's a good pickup by Phoenix Motor Racing, and I think he's going to wind up paying dividends. Look for Kurt.
Kurt, you got it right.
Well, I guarantee when they made this pickup, I can't believe I'm talking NASCAR intelligently.
I believe we both are.
Yeah, really. With this pickup, I guarantee they were hesitant.
You're going left.
I'm going left. No, with this pickup, I guarantee they were hesitant to sign him originally, just because of what happened.
I think they were hesitant, but I look for Kurt Busch to win 5+ races this year.
You're out of your mind.
Oh, no.
I don't see that happening.
No.
I mean,
just saying.
It's blatant.
With a new team, I don't.
So, another new acquisition, as we started to speak on a little bit earlier.
Is he still racing?
He is still racing.
He's like 80 years old.
He's not the Viagra car anymore either.
I'll have you know he's younger than my mother-in-law, so my mother-in-law wouldn't appreciate you talking.
I didn't know your mother-in-law was that young. I seriously thought Mark Martin was like in the 70s.
No, Mark Martin is actually barely 50.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems like he's been around for
He's
like
got
ages.
white hair syndrome.
Yeah, but dude, he's like one of the most physically fit and fitness
gurus
on the sport.
Which you wouldn't guess because he was driving the Viagra car.
At one time. But now he's driving the Aaron's Dream Machine for Michael Waltrip Racing. He's driving a limited schedule in the number 55 Aaron's Dream Machine. Michael Waltrip will drive some of the other races, including the Daytona 500. I guess Mark's getting old. He don't want to take no chances, and he crashes at Daytona. He's had enough of those in his day, so he don't want to risk any more injury, as it were.
Injuries.
And Michael McDowell.
Michael McDonald?
No, McDowell. McDowell. Not to be kidded with Blackjack McDowell, the former pitcher of the White Sox. But
that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another sports subject we got to cover.
What?
In a minute. No, go ahead. Yeah, a little bit of baseball.
All right, so he will be driving for Phil Parsons Racing. Redline Oil.
Alan Parsons Project?
No. Redline Oil will be the main sponsor. So that's the basics of.
There's a couple more.
Who goes?
Casey Mears switches to Ford.
Yeah.
And
well, he stays with the same team.
He
Though.
stays
That's why
with the
I didn't.
same
That's
team.
why I didn't mention.
But yeah, Geico through 2014,
Yes.
and then mention Landon.
Landon Castle did get a ride for the Daytona 500, but that's not a guarantee that he is in because he'll either have to
Listen to the guru.
He'll have to either qualify his way in or race his way in on Thursday in the Gatorade Duels.
Still worth a mention.
Gatorade.
It's definitely still worth a mention. So
and before we get
that
into,
kind of previews who goes where,
Right.
and as far as new teams, new places, new faces. Out of all those I mentioned, if you guys could name one of the drivers that could have the best season with their new team, who would you pick?
Kurt Busch. I'm sticking by my pick.
Oh, Casey Kane.
I think Casey Kane as well, if I had to pick, obviously.
Keep in mind, though, I did say Casey Kane would also have it, so I'll pick him a second.
I think my other pick would have to be Clint Boyer for Michael Waltrip Racing. But Casey Kane, definitely, I know he's been looking forward to this for a long time. This is a long time coming. He keeps his longtime crew chief in Kenny Francis. And so it should be a good season for that. And it should be a great NASCAR season. And next week, on part 2 of the season.
Oh, yes, there's more.
We will break down who we think will have the best shot to dethrone the champ. Smoke, as it were, or can smoke reign supreme?
But wait, there's more.
Next week we'll be going right.
No,
we'll still be going
right.
left.
Still going left.
Right to the preview.
All right, whatever. So moving on from that, would you play that last commercial, please?
Does he have one more thing to talk about?
We're going to, but
yeah, we're going.
Cue the commercial.
And now the last one, my personal favorite, other than M&M's, the dog that I hope to get someday, Mr. Quigley. Please play.
And there's the favourite Silver Prince.
And we have a late entry named Mr. Quigley.
Is he wearing running shoes?
It is legal, I believe. And they're off. It's Queen's Hurricane out front. Silver Prince on his heels. But wait, Mr. Quigley is coming around the outside. Look at that little guy go. It's gonna be Quigley. What?
Let's do it.
He's walking across the finish line.
The new Midfoot Strike Skechers Go Run. Go like never before.
What do you mean you want a new contract?
What's Mark Cuban doing?
I don't know. That was funny.
Yeah,
those are probably 3 of the best commercials in the Super Bowl.
Another one's a few of them. The Ferris Bueller one. Again,
that was awesome.
It was good, but
it was Ferris Bueller in like 2 minutes.
The better one is online. If you haven't seen the better one's online. The Seinfeld one, again, the better one's online. All the commercials were good this year. Some of them were kind of but a lot of them were good though.
Yeah.
Just a quick baseball note before we head into our interview.
Wrestling.
Kurt Schilling has started since 2006. He's been in production of a game. Of course, Kurt Schilling, the multiple-time World Series winning baseball player. He's been in production of a game that hit shelves this week. And since we are also gamers, Kingdom of Amalur.
Kingdoms of Amalur.
And you're thinking, oh dear God, this game cannot be good.
It is.
8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 5 out of 5. This game is scoring high.
That's right.
He doesn't do anything half-butt, and he was on Mike and Mike earlier this week talking about the game and said every time he left a production meeting, somebody, when they were shaking hands, someone always said, "You're a lot smarter than I thought you were."
But I did play the demo of the game. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up. Other things going on with that. But it does look like a good game. It's an open world like RPG, so it looks kind of interesting. If you're fans of like kind of a cross between like Fable and like kind of open world of Skyrim, so definitely a good game. It looks really like a fantasy type of game. It doesn't look like outstanding graphics. It's more like a fantasy type of graphic. So, but it looks very good. I'm very impressed with that game. So.
And then now we'll go to our interview, performed this week by Postmaster.
Yes, I got the pleasure to interview the one and only Randy
Torres.
Torres. So,
the man, the myth, the legend.
And like I said before to them, I said I wanted Randy Torres. Like, Randy, if you're watching or not, but I really wanted you on the show for weeks now, and the fact that we got you on the show this past week was awesome just because I'm a big fan of yours. I think you're one of the more exciting guys in OVW just because of your ring style and how you hype up the crowd. I think you're very good. And I also like to see you out of OVW soon to go bigger and better places.
So with that, cue the interview, please.
All right, we're standing here live at the OVW Danny Davis Arena with one of the most phenomenal superstars in OVW, Mr. Randy Torres. Randy, how you doing this afternoon?
Pleasure to meet you guys. Pleasure to be on the show.
All right, first off, I'd like to say, being who you are, Randy Torres, what is your inspiration? What got you involved in professional wrestling?
Believe it or not, it wasn't actually watching wrestling. It was actually a video game. I used to play video games all the time, and I was in a local arcade, and sure enough, there was this WrestleMania, the arcade game. I still remember that, goofy characters and stuff like that. And I just started playing that. Sure enough, went home, started looking up all of the moves, watching TV, and try that out. Just took it from there.
All right, awesome. Sounds good. And since you've been in the business from this point, what has been your biggest highlight? Like, what has been your biggest, wow moment of your career so far?
Wow moment. Oh, wow. It really is wow. I've been in this about 12 years. I think the biggest thing is just meeting all the fans. When I first started out, I didn't have the best self-esteem in the world. I was partially suicidal, for reasons beyond, anything relevant here. But since I went out there and hit the stage, fans started cheering for me, cheered for my music. I was golden from there. I just kept on walking forward.
All right, and lastly, this past Saturday at the Saturday Night Special, you kind of did a little tribute to the one and only HBK, Shawn Michaels, by doing the Shawn Michaels time there with Jose at the end of the match. What made you decide to do that, or was that kind of a last-minute thing, or how did that come about?
I think, in my personal opinion, you can never miss an opportunity to pose like Shawn Michaels.
So, with that being said, we really appreciate your time.
I like that interview.
All right, that was a very good interview.
Interesting story how you got started.
As always, we'd like to thank OVW for all their support. We'd also like to personally thank Terry Bodie, our good friend Terry, for making sure we get pumped every week on the show. And we want to mention his Facebook page.
Facebook.com/Terry
Bodie.
I'll post a link.
His fan page, as it were. All the inside scoop inside the locker room that we can't give you or we don't know, he has all the ins and outs. Anything you want to know that we can't know or we don't know about OVW, Terry is there for you. He does a lot for us. We work with him on a weekly basis. We talk to him weekly. So check that out if you would, please. If you're a fan of OVW, if you're just starting to watch, Facebook.com/Terry Bodie for all your OVW insider news.
Two things I'm going to mention before I get into OVW tapings this week. One, you remember when we went to OVW on Saturday for the Saturday Night Special? And didn't Terry mention about us on Saturday?
Yes. Okay,
and do you remember a guy in a red t-shirt, when he talked about us, he clapped for that?
Yes.
He liked us on Facebook this past week.
Awesome.
So, the fact that Terry's getting our name out there is getting us more fans, which is awesome.
Oh, by the way.
And someone else liked us on Facebook, too.
The 69th like on the Facebook page, Triple Threat Talk like, the one and only Jesse Goddard's liked our Facebook page, which... Since you failed this week, I'd like for you to put that picture up right here.
Here we go. There's a picture.
Here's a picture of me hanging out with Jesse Goddard's
at Fox and the Ham.
At Fox and the Ham for the Royal
Fox
Rumble.
and the Epic.
So there that is. So I guess moving on from that.
All right, second thing.
Okay.
Today at work, if you don't know, I work at a local GameStop, and someone was coming in today.
Stop it!
Someone came in today, and they're talking about they're gonna get home and watch TNA, and I said TNA, that's neither here nor there. But I said to him. I said, do you ever get a chance to watch OVW? She goes, no, I work on Wednesday. They said, well, they have it online. It's on Thursdays. And I said, also, they put the show out on Saturdays on. If you have Insight, you go to channel 138 WKY to watch them. So another plug for OVW to another fan that may not know about you. And also did mention, we have our own show as well. So that's more important.
You cheap plugger.
But I promoted OVW first. So this week, OVW.
So are we going to talk the tapings, or you want to talk special first?
We'll talk tapings, because I have it first.
Okay.
So first of all, OVW tapings this past week. If you didn't see it, you can go to ovwrestling.com and check their page for their most recent episode. So this first week, Miscagni comes out and started the evening with Team OMG, Paradise, and Jason Wayne. Obviously, Jason Wayne, Paradise, and Team OMG are not happy about how Miscagni is running things. He's like, quote unquote, in charge. So, he sets up matches for later on in the evening. He sets up Paradise to fight Rob Terry.
Squash match.
Jason Wayne fought Muhammad Ali Baez.
Alright.
Shiloh Jones fought Jesse Guards. That was the first match of the evening. And then the main event was Johnny Spade took on Marcus Anthony. And obviously, you know who won that one. But the match was a loser-lose OVW match. So, moving on from that, the interview from last week, well...
ended our streak.
And kind of technically, the streak is over, even though he was already in ROH. So,
it's not.
but it was good for Mike Mondo to fight Chris Silvio in his last match in OVW for now, because he's in ROH. Good job by them to build up their TV champion in Chris Silvio. He's one of the better ones. We like Chris Silvio. So it was good for him to pick up the win over Mike Mondo. That's a pretty big win for him.
We apparently have a new employee at OVW.
Oh, I was going to get into that next.
We have did you know that the OVW now has a chief sanitation engineer at OVW?
I did not know that.
Well, apparently, lo and behold, some guy named Michael Hayes.
Who's that?
Michael Hayes.
Doesn't that sound familiar to you guys?
It does.
Does that ring a bell?
Wait a minute. Didn't he get beat in a steel cage match a couple weeks ago and not allowed to wrestle anymore?
Here's the thing, all right? I like Muhammad Ali Vaez as much as the next guy. I think he's great. I think he's fantastic.
But Michael Hayes is epic.
But, besides that, Ali, buddy, come on, buddy. He's not wrestling, buddy. He's just cleaning.
He's only cleaning. I'm sorry.
He missed a spot.
I like you, Ali. I told you you're one of my favorites, but Ali, buddy, he's not wrestling. He's just cleaning.
He's just doing his job. He's cleaning the posts.
He missed a spot. People miss spots. I mean, he was his first day on the job.
Oh.
I know you're rich. You probably have someone that cleans for you, but he needs to clean.
Yeah, Danny Davis gave him a job. This is his job.
Yeah. So, as they were saying,
work is Peyton.
Michael Hayes did cost.
Right, man, it's gotta work.
Michael Hayes did cost Ali Vaez the match against Jason Wynn.
But it's not his fault. I guess Vaez just wanted to look at the way he was cleaning. Maybe
he got in the way.
Maybe his cleaning personnel person quit.
Could be.
And he was just taking notes.
Yeah. So. After that,
Vaez looked like he saw a ghost.
Yeah, he did. So after that, Ted McNaylor took on Adam Revolver and Jose Del Barrio, who's a beast-looking guy. And the stipulation was if McNaylor won, he would take on Adam Revolver at this Saturday Night Special. McNaylor picks up the win.
Yep.
Sorry, McNaylor picks up the win. Then Miss Gagne comes out. Says, congratulations on your win. Stop with that. Miss Gagne says, congratulations on your win. But you said before, and I'm a man of my word, that you could be Adam Revolver with one hand tied behind your back. So guess what they do?
They make a match at Saturday Night Special. Adam Revolver versus Ted McEpic at Saturday Night Special, and Ted has to have one arm tied behind his back, and we'll get to that in a minute.
And then after that, Rob Terry fought Paradise, and that wasn't very long. Paradise put up a good fight, but, I mean,
no, he didn't.
Have you seen Rob Terry?
He's a freak, just like they say in TNA. The freak Rob Terry.
So then the main event was Johnny Spade.
Smooth Johnny Spade.
Took on current WWE superstar, Marcus Anthony.
FCW superstar.
Right, well, FCW. And Johnny Spade picked up the win, and Marcus Anthony was gone from OVW.
That's a big win for Johnny Spade.
That's a huge win, literally.
I mean, I know, obviously, he got hired by WWE, so he was gone, but still, that was a good win for Johnny Spade.
So that is it for the tapings from that week. So now, move on to the Saturday Night Special, which we attended.
I did not.
Saturday Night Special, the poster was very good. The main event was being billed.
Sorry if I'm trying to interrupt, but did you know the posters are done by Mr. Paradise?
Yes, I knew that.
Okay.
The main event for the evening was being billed as a 8-man tag, elimination style.
But wait, someone was missing from that poster.
Yeah, well, it was Jason Wayne,
Timo and G,
Paradise, and Timo and G taking on the Miscagni family.
Minus Rob Terry.
It said it was Rudy Switchblade, Muhammad Ali Baez,
Jesse Goddard,
and a mystery partner.
Now, you can believe what you want to believe, but I am one who tends not to lie often. This man, Postmaster Jones, Jimmy Biggers, whatever you want to call him.
Call me late for dinner.
We stood in that line waiting to get in, and we were speculating who they could get as the member to team up the 4-on-4. He comes right out and says, "How about Brandon Espinoza? Guess who's in the match? Brandon Espinoza."
Which makes sense. I mean,
it made sense.
I mean, he and I talked about it, and I guessed it too. When he said, "Guess who the mystery member was?"
The fact that he called it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, he was
pretty
quite
impressive.
So we had several decent matches. To kick things off, we had a television title match. Christopher Silvio fought
Dylan Boston.
Dylan Boston.
In my opinion, that was the best match of the night. I see bigger and better things from Dylan Bostic. He put on a heck of a show. Obviously, Silvio is one of the bigger guys because he's the TV champion.
Right.
But that was the best match I saw all night. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very good match. We had a Divas tag team match. It was Taylor Hendricks and
name escapes me.
and she took on
CJ Lane.
CJ Lane
and Mrs. Snow.
And Mrs. Snow, Al Snow's wife, as it were, and Taylor Hendricks Motorsports.
And her partner won.
And her partner picked up the victory.
Right.
So good job there. We also, before I continue on the matches, had the debut of something that made you quite happy. And that was, at the concession stand, the merchandise title. You can now pick up the Scagny family t-shirts for only about $12.
That's exactly how it Exactly. I said, Terry, say it with more enthusiasm.
We're like, that was funny though. He was just kind of like,
What about Peggy?
So then we had a lumberjack strap match.
That was like Christmas.
It was like Christmas. Raul LaMotta taking on Chris Boweevil. And to our much delight, Raul LaMotta destroyed Christopher Bowen. And unfortunately, before LaMotta could get some good slashings in, Moose returned.
Bowling Services
2.0 came out and made the save.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had, like we said, Ted McNaylor fought Adam Revolver with one hand tied behind his back.
One arm.
One arm, yeah, thank you. And Ted McNaylor was victorious. He picked up the victory.
So I said to him on the TV, I said to him the other night, I said, we're waiting to see you have a belt.
Yeah, it's due for a belt now. He should have the big belt.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of Switchfail with that title.
I like Switchblade. I've said this counts on show, but he needs to defend it more.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
I got very aggravated. I told him personally. I said, this is two I say pay-per-views because it's like their pay-per-view.
Exactly. It's their big event.
I was like, this is the second big event in a row he doesn't defend the title.
I think eventually either Danny Davis or Trailer Park Nurse is going to step in and says, you need to defend that belt. So
I mean, he doesn't defend it enough.
I mean, seriously, Rudy Switchblade is one of the better guys in OVW. If you don't believe me, watch his older stuff. He's really good in the ring. He's excellent in the ring. He's getting the title because he deserves it. So I think they should put the title on and prove and show why Rudy Switchblade is the top guy.
So the main event was a 4-on-4 elimination match.
But before that, they came out.
Christian Muscagni said, they're not able to compete. They come out holding their heads, walking with a limp. They said they couldn't compete. So they brought out 4 guys out of the back.
Silvio.
Lennox. Norris. Tony Gunn.
Your favorite, the Bear.
The Bear.
And
the fourth one's escaping me. But anyway.
Fourth one was it Elvis Pridemore?
No.
He's a face.
I don't remember who it was. But anyway, it's neither here nor there.
Was it Randy Torres?
No.
No, he's a face.
I don't remember.
Anyway, it was a squash. The Team OMG, Jason Wayne, and Paradise won pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
So then a little trickery played by Muscagni. They jumped in the ring and said, we're just kidding. Start the match. Yeah. Jason Wayne was eliminated like that.
From Ali Vaez.
So it come down to
Ali Vaez.
Muhammad Ali Vaez.
Smooth. Johnny
Wait a minute. Who else was it? There was somebody else out there before the sanitation engineer made his appearance.
It was Smooth Johnny Spade, Ali Vaez, and Rudy Switchblade.
Yeah, Rudy Switchblade was defeated.
By Smooth Johnny Spade.
Well, then the sanitation engineer thought it was needed that the ropes and the posts be
they looked a little dirty.
Polished during this main event.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was a good move.
He's wiping down the ropes and the posts, and Ali comes over, and he just happens to get in the way of him spraying the cleaner.
There's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he just happened to be there. He shouldn't have been in the way.
Man's got to work. He knows where those ropes are.
That's right. I mean, he was just doing his job.
He got screwed.
No, he did not. I mean, come on.
It was clean to me.
It was clean. He was spraying the ropes. Ali was bent over.
Ali was
in the way.
notes again.
I mean, come on.
It was Ali's fault completely.
Yeah, totally Ali Baez's fault.
When I'm at work, I don't want someone getting in my way.
Yeah, I mean, he was just trying to do his job.
Let the man work.
So anyway, he sprays him in the face with
spray bottle.
With the spray bottle. So Baez is all, he turns around, takes super kick right to the face. And
That's all she
Johnny
wrote.
Spade. 1, 2, 3. Faces win. The crowd goes home happy, except for you.
And Michael Hayes goes home knowing that he once again did a good job
of cleaning the ropes and the post.
Sanitation engineer, my foot.
I don't get why you're so upset about that. Leave the man alone. He has to work just like you.
Right?
He's got to make his money. I mean,
Anyway.
come on. Jeez.
Yeah.
So,
good stuff.
Good
Keeps
stuff.
you in business.
That's right.
He
He
keeps
does.
you in business. He
That's
goes
right.
up the game stuff.
That's right. So, epic stuff is always from OVW, and as always, you can check them out at www.ovwrestling.com. Check out all the insider news and insights at www.facebook.com/Terry Bodie.
And also facebook.com/OVWrestling.
And facebook.com/OVWrestling. So I guess that transitions us to WWE. SmackDown. Do we have to really cover it?
I'll cover a few things here.
I mean, really? Because you told me it's getting absolutely out of hand. I can't even watch it anymore because I'm afraid
DVR and just fast forward.
I'll sit there with a.
I'll go over a few things. I'm not gonna go in depth here.
By the way,
okay.
Speaking of that, I saw one of the most disgusting things I've seen in a while. Somebody got sick in the drive-thru today, and I saw it. It was disgusting. He said it with an upchuck bucket. I mean, he talked about his experience.
Wait a minute. What? Time out. Time out. Okay. Drive-through where? I know where you work, but people don't know where you work. Explain yourself.
I was at the pharmacy.
You could have been at the drive-thru at McDonald's and somebody upchucked in the window.
I don't want my Big Mac.
I was at the drive-thru at the pharmacy helping a
The
customer.
pink slime, it's still in the burn.
And I only say this because he brought up a work exploit last week. Today, I can handle a lot of things. Seeing somebody.
Shouldn't this been a wild card?
No, I'm just. He brought up an upchuck bucket, so I'm just saying.
That's my fault. I'm sorry.
Someone got sick in the drive-thru. I can handle a lot of things, but seeing someone upchuck in front of me makes me want to do it myself.
Hope you're not eating during this episode.
No. If you're
By all means, eat.
Anyway, go ahead.
So, a few things. Mark Henry was suspended by Teddy Long.
Thank God. Get him out of here.
Between the two.
He's a fail. Get him out.
But, so, they had to replace him with somebody in the chamber, and they replaced him with the Great Khali.
So, who cares?
So, he's in there. Sheamus.
SmackDown makes me yawn.
Sheamus fought Cody Rhodes, and actually was a really good match. Cody Rhodes did one of the sickest things I've ever seen him do. He did a beautiful disaster off the barricade, which is pretty impressive if you saw it. It was pretty impressive.
Okay, that's awesome.
I thought maybe he was going to say he actually wrestled.
I thought he was going to say that.
No. So, let's see. No. Justin Gabriel fought Hunico, ended in no contest.
Yeah.
Rhodes attacked Gabriel and Hunico's bodyguard, who we now know the name is Camacho. I think that's the name.
Why is everybody's name on SmackDown end with an O all of a sudden?
I don't know.
And then so that's why they need to bring Silvio!
Epico, Primo, Santino, Hunico, Camacho.
Anyway, so Khali comes out and helped Gabriel in that one. Epico and Primo defeated Santino.
Sounds like a waitress staff at the Element Hall.
Epico and Primo defeated Santino and Jim Duggan in a tag match. Santino and Jim Duggan didn't pose any threat to them. So.
I like that.
Daniel Bryan and the Big Show had an altercation, and Big Show was gonna hit the WMDR as well as known as the huge punch he does, and AJ got in the way. So something's going on there with AJ, and even though she's hurt, she wants to save Daniel Bryan.
Oh.
So then the main event was Randy Orton defeated Wade Barrett in an ODQ match. Keep going with that feud. So pretty much that's it for SmackDown. Not a whole lot. So the SmackDown Chamber goes as this: you have World Heavyweight Champion, and we'll cover this next week when the Chamber is as that Sunday.
Is it next Sunday?
Yep.
Amazing.
Not this Sunday. Next Sunday.
All right, another pay-per-view.
Well,
then the next one is
WrestleMania. So you have World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan taking on Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Wade Barrett, The Big Show, and the Great Khali in the SmackDown Chamber. So we'll look forward to previewing that next week. So now you have Raw, which is a little bit more exciting.
I think they should have replaced Mark Henry with Eli Manning.
Really?
Yeah, Triple H came out and Undertaker's challenge told him H no.
Yeah. So
Triple H no.
Yeah. So
he basically told him that what he said Taker had too much respect for Taker to put him out of his misery.
Yeah. So I mean,
which we saw a really cool promo.
Yeah, it was a very good promo.
Give me what I want.
So I think next week Shawn Michaels is supposed to be there. Shawn Michaels is supposed to be there. I think he's going to be made the referee for this match.
Easy, fella.
I'm pumped too. I think he's going to be made the ref for this match. So
I don't think this match is going to happen.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see, but
So,
I think it's going to.
moving on from that, the Big Show defeated Daniel Bryan via countout.
Yes.
Yawn. AJ came out there and her presence was felt, so Daniel Bryan had to leave. So, Sheamus defeated David Otunga in a squash match just to give Sheamus some TV time.
I did make a humorous observation when David Otunga took off his shirt. It sounded like all the girls in the audience were,
Carlton Banks got kicked in the face.
Boom, boom.
CM Punk did to Chris Jericho what Chris Jericho's been doing.
He said it was a fail because he didn't say anything.
I like.
You wanted CM Punk to say something, so did I. CM Punk.
Yeah, that was a fail.
You wanted to say something?
I liked it. He just walked away and held the title up.
Right. I just didn't.
I wanted the two best talkers in the business. CM Punk, the best talker, and Jericho, one of the best talkers in the business history. I wanted them to have a confrontation, but
they're going to.
CM Punk, just Jericho. So
they're going to.
So then after that, the Great Khali and Randy Orton fought Cody Rhodes and Wayne Barrett in a tag team match.
What's up with that?
They're trying to get the Chamber guys interacting with each other.
But what was interesting though was Great Khali smacking Randy Orton RKO.
Yeah, Randy Orton gave Khali an RKO for that one. So as I said earlier,
the ugliest looking RKO.
So as it was reported on WWE.com, John Laurinaitis. He's still, by the way, is still he's still the vice. Well, he's always been the vice president of Domination, but he's still the interim general manager of Raw,
which is a fail.
So he announced next. He announced it at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which I think is a good match. John Cena taking on Kane in the ambulance match, and then I posted on the Triple Threat Talk Facebook page today something very, very smart that WWE did. There's a promotional event in Abu Dhabi that WWE promoting for a couple.
That's in Dubai,
right? A couple of events. We're gonna have that. And John Cena was at the podium talking, and Kane comes out, and they have an altercation, and Kane gets put through a table. I thought it was very smart to build that feud that way. So that's going to be interesting going forward. Chris Jericho was in the main event of the Six-Pack Challenge of the Elimination Chamber people. You had CM Punk, Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, The Miz, R-Truth, and Chris Jericho. And the winner was...
R-Truth took a nasty fall.
The winner was going to be the last entrant in the Elimination Chamber, and Jericho won that. And as Postmaster said, during the match, R-Truth goes for like a somersault outside the ring. Miz moves, and R-Truth kind of hits the ground. He was legitimately injured. It wasn't storyline when he was legitimately injured. And then after the show was over, Miz took a little flack from that, especially from the higher-ups in WWE. He got a little flack for that, so he might not see the Miz in the upper echelons of the company for a little while longer after the chamber. It's a mistake, but it's mistakes. They don't like mistakes in WWE. It's obviously evident. And then And then the close of the show, you had Kane terrorize Eve Torres once again because he wants Cena to embrace the hate, as he says. So we'll see what happens if he embraces the hate at Elimination Chamber in the ambulance match. So
one thing that did happen on Monday that you forgot.
Oh.
They tied in two of my favorite things.
Oh, really?
They tied in "You're Going Left" with wrestling.
I didn't mention that for a reason.
Why did you not mention that?
I think it was important.
It is important. How are you out of your mind? So anyway, 2 weeks ago, not this past Monday, but the Monday before, they were in Missouri. The home of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series star Carl Edwards.
Backflip.
And he made an appearance at the arena.
He's a big fan of John Cena.
Big fan of his number 99 Fastenal Ford Fusion. To come ask John Cena if he would be the Grand Marshal for the 54th running, which is ironic. 54 is Cena's number.
Yeah, that's ironic.
To be the Grand Marshal for the 54th Daytona 500 to wave the green flag, and John Cena
that's a big honor. Absolutely.
John Cena was absolutely overjoyed. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to a lot of NASCAR talk, and a lot of people are kind of like, "Really, you're mixing wrestling with?"
They've done it before. Goldberg did it.
I mean,
they had Joey Logano and somebody guest host Raw before. So
I mean, it fits because a lot of times people that watch wrestling watch NASCAR because, and I'm not saying this I'm kind of saying it to be funny, but really,
the crowd's kind of.
I knew you were gonna go.
I mean, I say it jokingly, but most rednecks watch NASCAR and watch wrestling. I mean, it's
true.
It's true, and I'm not, meaning anything by it. I'm just saying they tie in. Well, two things do tie in together.
It's smart for WWE because it's not just the biggest event in NASCAR. It's one of the biggest events in sports. If them to tie in with that, it's very
the
smart.
Super Bowl of our
It's a
racing
smart business move.
NASCAR.
It's a smart business move by WWE.
And see, here's the thing. I mean, people. When I tell people we do a show, and they're like, "What do you cover?" No, we cover sports.
Everything.
We cover everything. And then I say, "Yeah, we cover professional wrestling too." And really, it is legitimate because it's a legitimate business. That's why we cover wrestling, because we're enthralled by a business that since the 20s and 30s have kept millions of people tuning in week after week after week after week, kept them on their heels. It's $1 billion a year business.
Right.
Any business like that, whether it's scripted or no, is legit.
Right,
absolutely.
And it's one of those things where, you know, they're gaining more credence anyways. I mean, you're seeing wrestlers now more so than ever in the movies, on talk shows, TV, and sports. And for people to think this is a bad move by NASCAR is just ludicrous.
Right. So to close wrestling, as I said, Elimination Chamber for Raw is CM Punk defends his title against Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, The Miz, R-Truth, and Jericho, who won that six-pack challenge, will be the last entrant. So we'll preview Elimination Chamber next.
I should have been the Grand Marshal for the Daytona 500. I was the Super Bowl champion.
Put Eli Manning down. So we'll cover Elimination Chamber next week when all the matches are mentioned. Hopefully there'll be more than 4 of them.
All 4 that are advertised right now?
Yeah, so.
Awesome. I don't even know if there's 4. I think there's just 3.
There's 3 at the moment, but they're going to add at least 1 more so we can cover 4.
Yeah, they'll get at least cover 4. So I guess that moves us to the wild card segment this week. Lay it on me. I gotta know. Come on.
All right. This past week, and I don't know if you watch Jeopardy on a regular basis.
Every once in a while.
I love Jeopardy.
But this past week, I don't remember all the stuff that was going on, but I remember one category.
Yeah.
There's a category on there called Epic Fail Words.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Woo! I wish I would have seen that.
I was thinking about PostMaster Jones. What happened? I'm being serious. Every time they pick the category on Jeopardy, Epic Fail was like Epic Fail. Every single time they picked
That's
it.
epic.
That's pretty funny. Epic Fail words. It was pretty good.
On Jeopardy.
It was pretty good.
Epic fail. I'm still trying to think of one.
Where's your cheers and jeers at?
I didn't have any good ones.
Well, I have a wild card this week.
Oh boy.
My wild card is that my adult hockey team picked up the victory last night, 1-0 in the first round of the Louisville Adult Hockey Association League D playoffs. We move on to the semifinals next week. It is 1 game elimination. There's no series
like
involved.
NCAA tournament.
Yep. So if you win, you move on. If you lose, you're out.
Win or go home.
We got a tough task next week. We play the best team in the league, but we can do it. We're up to the challenge.
Once again, I hope you lose.
Well, you know what'll happen if you do. I'm just telling you.
Well, I'm just saying this because if you don't know, on Wednesday when we did our interview for the OVW, I said to him, "I hope he loses." I was being sarcastic. Obviously, I wish the best for him and the talking thing because it's something he really enjoys. But I said, I hope he loses. He called me, and he ended up winning 1-0. So I'm saying, well, if I hope you lose, maybe you'll have and you end up winning.
There's also a little more to that story.
Yeah.
Let's keep it.
Let's just say he would have got a skate to the groin if I would have lost.
Yeah, my kids have been a future endeavor.
You gotta have a girlfriend first. We've been over this numerous of times. So.
To which I said something we can't really say on the air.
No, keep that hush hush. So, I guess no wild card for you this week?
No cheers and jeers?
Give me a second.
Don't force
it. I'm not forcing cheers and jeers.
Don't force a wild card. If you can't find one, don't do it.
Come back next week.
No one's made me mad.
Come back next week with a good one.
Alright, so I guess that moves us to the
idiots of the week.
Idiots of the week, yeah.
Wait! I have a wild card.
Oh my god!
I have a wild card.
Why?
Because.
Hurry it up.
There was a lot of talk this week that this man should be in the Hall of Fame. I kind of disagree with that.
Absolutely disagree.
I absolutely disagree with that. A, it's too early, and B, people are not even mentioning Ben Roethlisberger in the Hall of Fame talk yet, and he has one more Super Bowl appearance than Eli Manning. Sure, it was a loss, but it's still one more Super Bowl appearance. And for me, I think they're basing Eli Manning's Super Bowl Hall of Fame candidacy on 8 games, on an 8-game run. You know. Yeah, I'm talking about you. That's right.
You're talking to an inanimate object.
Well, it's one of those things that I just don't think.
Oh, it's real. It's damn real.
Shut up, Kurt Angle. Shut up, Koba Angle.
I just don't see how.
Let's go tap out.
We need to cool the Hall of Fame talk for
too early.
Yes, he's a good quarterback. No, he's not elite because he's not in the top 10% of his sport. I mean, obviously the top 3 quarterbacks in the league are Breeze, Rodgers, and Brady. And that there are 32 teams, so that makes 3 teams being in the top 10%.
Right.
You have to be in the top 10% of your profession to be elite.
Absolutely.
And it's one of those things.
Well, I agree with him. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer yet. You have to look at the whole body of work. Just because he wins 2 Super Bowls doesn't mean he's a Hall of Famer. You have to look at. He throws a lot of interceptions. He threw in a lot of interceptions the previous year. They're not always, I mean, they're a decent team half the time, but needless, we forget they were 7-7 at one point. They were if Miles Austin catches that pass in the game against the Cowboys game, you would have a different conversation.
So moving back backtrack this to the idiots or idiot of the week.
Wait,
no, I'm kidding.
Wait, drum roll, please. All right, so my idiot of the week, as I said earlier, was MIA for her obscene gesture during the Super Bowl halftime show.
She raps funny. She sounds funny when she raps.
So is Nicki Minaj. But I think MIA
missing in action.
Missing in action, yeah. I think MIA, what she did was very disrespectful, not just to Madonna, but to everyone watching Super Bowl at the time. As I said, she had her platform, her $100 million platform, to do whatever she wanted, and she did what she wanted, which I thought was very stupid on her part. So,
my idiot of the week has to go to Tom Brady's wife,
Gisele Bundchen.
Gisele Bundchen. What she said after the Super Bowl.
I'll comment on that. Go ahead.
Was a little ridiculous. She said, and I quote, "My husband cannot pass and catch the ball at the same time. He can't do both. What do you expect when your receivers are dropping the ball?"
She couldn't believe how many times they dropped the ball. Right?
I mean, really?
But to counterpoint that, she didn't really say it to anybody except her inner circle. Someone recorded her on a phone.
But still, you should watch what you say.
Well, again,
in an era of nowadays, people are trying to break the story.
I know.
Even in your inner circle, if somebody, I could be recording you.
I know what you're thinking, so be quiet. Keep it quiet over there, you child.
I haven't seen that many drop balls since puberty.
You're fired. You're fired.
Can we edit that out of the show?
No, that's hilarious.
That's a fail. But anyway, I think Gisele
leave his tomfoolery in. I'm gonna start calling you tomfoolery over there.
You're no longer the doctor. You're tomfoolery.
No, I'm the doctor.
So Gisele Bundchen and MIA.
Would you have an idiot of the week besides yourself?
No.
Okay.
You are our joint this week's Idiots of the Week.
So,
say bye to Top Dino until next season. He's gone after tonight.
You'll have your jersey soon, sir.
Yes.
Ain't no lie, baby. Bye, bye, bye.
And I'll be wearing the hat that I'm gonna get and the jersey when the hat comes in.
Okay,
jersey comes in.
So with that, I think that closes the show. I did show this week a lot of good topics. Don't forget, next week Postmaster will continue his NASCAR Preview Part 2. And since football's over, we're probably going to cover more things like baseball, obviously college basketball, and if there's any... And if there's any tennis news, I will bring it to you. Right now, there's really nothing going on. So.
Oh, one quick note: the Waste Management Open was held this week in Glendale, Arizona. It's important to note because it is golf.
Is Michael Hayes in charge of that?
Probably. I mention it because unlike you would think that it's just a normal championship tour stop, that it wouldn't be heavily attended. It is the most heavily attended.
Heavenly, all right.
It is the most heavily attended stop on the tour, beating out the Masters and the PGA Open and all that stuff. So it is just noteworthy to mention that when people say, "Oh, the Masters and all that's a big deal," right. No, unfortunately, the Waste Management Open in Glendale, Arizona, is the biggest deal on the circuit.
All right. On that. On that note, if you want to like us on Facebook, you can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/triplethreattalk. Triple Threat Talk. You can follow us on Twitter at Triple Threat Talk. You can send us any comment or question you have at triplethreattalk@yahoo.com. So
let's reach 20 comments. We had 19. I want one more. 20 comments.
So for Triple Threat Talk, this is Big B.
This is Postmaster Jones.
And this is Tom Fuller. No, this is the Doctor.
So everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks to Postmaster Jones and thanks to Tom Fuller over there. We'll see you next week.
See you guys.